So tonight is on Become a Successful NLP Life Coach. And this evening will be a playful evening where the purpose is for you to get some skills, to get a taste of NLP, to, grasp NLP a little bit better. It is also a promotional seminar where we will at the end offer you some opportunities, some chances, some special offers really to be able to do the next step, which is our NLP Foundation. It's a 2-day workshop on 11th and 12th of February, Saturday and Sunday. And then it continues after 2 weeks with Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and altogether it's your 5-day NLP practitioner international certification. This certification is from Conscious Solutions and from ADNLP. And if you go on to become a master, which is another 12 days, you will also be certified by SNLP, which is the highest certification body for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which is Santa Cruz, California. So I would like to tell you a little story about when I was working with people. I was always working with people because I was always very curious. I believe that if I stop sharing, you can see me better. I was always interested in how people function, what drives people, what makes them move, what makes them be excellent in one area, mediocre in another, and lousy in another. And so I got many answers in psychotherapy, and I would take lots of psychotherapy trainings right after my naturopathic doctor degree. And there was an incident in one training that I participated. It was 3 times 3 months. And between part 1 and part 2, all of us counselors were giving sessions. And I never remember this, I never forget to remember this incident with one client who I was already giving 7 sessions. We used to give packages of 10 one-on-one sessions. And Karen came to me with what is called depression. I gave her my attention, I gave her my love, I gave her my everything in those 7 sessions. And she was the client that I brought to what was called internship. So in internships, all the 26 counselors came with their clients, and we had 7 trainers who were master psychologists and psychology teachers. And there was everyone in the room, and all the clients knew that they are there to learn. And there was a stage. And so every counselor would come with their client on stage. So finally it was my time, and I was so excited because I really wanted to learn more. And Karen would move about like this. And she would sit down and she would say, "It's so hard. It's so hard." And I was in the middle looking at Karen, and on this side was Tanya, one of my master trainers. We got the different trainers, interact in different ways, but for my case, it was Tanya. And I would stand in the middle and watch what happens between my trainer and my client. And I openly announced to the whole group that how many sessions I gave and that I am not satisfied with the results that I created with my sessions with Karen, and that I felt there's so much more that you could do. Of course, what I did is I did the analysis. I asked, when did you have depression for the first time? Who else in your family had depression? How did it start? When you have depression, what do you think about? And Tanya looked at Karen and asked her, maybe you only thought that you had that difficulty. And Karen looked up and had a big question mark on her face. However, she erected herself a little bit, which Tanya took and said, just right. And maybe what you thought was your emotional difficulty is actually just a signal for you to do something differently. Believe it or not, Karen erected herself, looked up. She didn't smile, but she changed a little bit of it, maybe like this. So she changed a little bit the corners of her mouth, and she would say, oh, that, and walk down the stage a little more erect, a little faster, and breathing more deeply. And I tell you, this was such an important moment in my life because I stood there looking at Karen and I was more than perplexed. I was like, how Tanya, with 2 questions, create more results than me in 7 hours? I was breathtaking because I was such an eager student and I would write every word down that she said. And, you know, Karen just left and here I was standing. So anyway, so one student came after another student until at the very end of the evening, we would present the conglomeration and thank all the clients. They left and they said thank you because each client had learned so much from being up on stage. Of course, they were all much longer. My client with Tanya was the shortest amount of time on stage. And we went into the second part of this internship. It lasted the whole day. And so the second part was that all us 26 counselors would sit with our master psychologists on stage. And, you know, I was eager with my notes and I couldn't wait until it was my turn to ask a question. And I said, Tanya, how could you create a change this quickly? I'm simply flabbergasted and I still don't understand how you did that. And Tanya said, if you look at people having problems, you may lose your eye of the goal. People don't have problems and people don't need fixing. People just need to learn how to reorganize their patterns of thinking. And I went, what? And I wrote down again everything she said. And I said, come on, you didn't even ask her where the depression is from, why she has depression. And Tanya said, yes, exactly. Because if you get your client lost in the problem, they will go deeper into the problem And I choose to believe that this is re-traumatization. And I don't want to teach you re-traumatization. I want to teach you to keep your eyes on the goal and to always look forward. So I asked, so what is it that I'm supposed to ask the client then? And Tanya said, how about what is it that you want to accomplish? I thought, wow, that's a great idea. You're not going to ask, what is your problem? You just go, what is it that you want to accomplish? That will set the answerer on a very different path. I was just, really, I had, who knows what is a clunk experience? Clunk, do you know that experience, Shahista? Yes, yes. So this clunk experience started happening in me. And at one point, Tanya said many, many things. I can't share all of it with you tonight. I may later. She also said that everybody always does the best that they can, according to their conditioning and to their map of understanding. And me, a young psychology student, goes, come on. My last client was an alcoholic. He's drinking one bottle of whiskey, sometimes two, every night. Are you telling me that he's doing the best that he can? And Tanya said, if he would know different, he would do different. And once again, I was literally there with my mouth open. I wanted to say something else. And I remember I did not know what else to say. If he would know different, he would already have done different. This was really an amazing shift in my studies and in my career. I could feel it, that whatever this Tanya knows, I want to know. Whatever she says, I want to be able to say. However she shines positively and radiantly, that's how I would like to shine. So that day ended, and it ended kind of on the last note, because all the trainers had to get into a shuttle, and I don't remember whether they were brought to the hotel or even to the airport. So they were all running towards the shuttle, and I was not done. I was so filled of questions and excitement and this wanting to know more that I was literally one of these eager students. I was running after her, Tanya, and she was leaving with her, rolling case. She's saying, ah. And she said, I said, please, I have a question. What is it? You must have learned something somewhere else. This didn't sound like psychotherapy. And she said the word Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And this was in Seattle, 1987. And I said, what? And she only said it one more time, and then she was gone into the bus. And I went to this shuttle that we brought to the airport. And I remember the jeans I was wearing. And I remember I had a scratch note, and I would be able to write down this word. And I put it back in my pants, just knowing. Now, that was a little odd because I simply didn't understand the word. So this scrap note with neuro-linguistic programming stayed in my jeans until, when you get ready to do laundry, and I pulled it out of my laundry and it was set into a direction. I thought, I want to know what is neuro-linguistic programming. And lo and behold, the law of attraction. I went into my it's called biological, I think it's organic, in Dubai they would say organic food store. And there were these bulletin boards where everybody puts their, visiting card or brochure. And there was this poster that literally said neuro-linguistic programming with Raina at Green Lake. So needless to say, I jumped in my car and I drove right up to that address and I knocked on the door, which had that golden sign, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and Raina, her name. And we sat and talked for more than an hour, ending with me signing up for my first Neuro-Linguistic Programming practitioner training. And the first 2 days of this training changed my life. In the beginning, I was literally taken, because I had studied a lot for psychotherapy, that this was a very different body of knowledge. It was presented very differently. We would be playing games and using our body and speaking and singing and, writing things and making posters and being so creative in learning in depth in how does our brain get messages and how do those messages translate in what we can do or what we cannot do. How is behavior made? And my story was that when I came into the training, I was in a very difficult marriage and I would be in a very tense situation with the family because I married into a different culture where there was 300 people of African American and I was a German. And this was my first time in America. So you can believe it was just so overwhelming and I was very young. And so as I was the doctor, I would take care of everyone and everyone needed me in the early morning and late at night. And I would just run and go to everyone and help everyone until after my first 2 days of neuro-linguistic programming, in which I learned how to handle my thought. I learned how to manage my internal dialogues. I learned how to interrupt old behavior patterns and download new behavior patterns. Was it different? And already after those 2 days, I knew the solution out of this difficult, tense family situation. One of the things that I did literally within 1 week, I got a room in a house with a very good girlfriend. And so I was able to get myself out of the hot seat of that situation. And I would still comply with the family needs and do what I needed to do. So neuro-linguistic programming completely and totally changed who I thought I was as a woman. It changed me from being a more submissive and shy person, thinking 3 times before I said something, into someone being very relaxed and able to stand my ground and able to feel joyful about sharing myself. It also taught me how to identify and speak my purpose. And I would like to welcome you all to become a successful NLP Life Coach. So the amazing thing that was not taught to me in psychotherapy, but that I learned in this training was quite a lot. And what I would like to ask you here tonight is, are your thoughts running you, or are you running your thoughts? What would you say, Shahista?
I would say my thoughts are running me.
Thank you. And would you like to learn how to do vice versa?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. And probably, I don't want to interrupt your driving, Besley, but would you also like to learn that?
Oh, yes, sure.
So I'm wondering what happens when you say one of these things to yourself. Don't be disappointed, don't be frustrated, don't be sad. Oh, Shahista, you look so sad. So this is basically one of the very important things that Tanya already tried to teach me by, if you look at the problem, you lose your eyes off the goal. So if I continue to say to myself what I don't want, I'm actually using language which makes my brain represent it. So the not is not so powerful. It's not that it's not powerful, and it's not that you will, in fact, learn to use this language for motivational speeches, because in motivational speeches we need negative and positive. But certainly we would learn how to transform it and look at where we want to focus our eyes, our ears, and the body. Focus on what you can do. Accept and move forward. Create solutions. Now it may sound to you like this is something different, but it isn't. It would be talking about the same content and the same matter, just under a different perspective. So here we have what is called Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And this is actually a good moment where I would like to ask Besley, and also, no, Besley, better you don't talk. I'm nervous when you're driving. Shahista, did you have any exposure yet to NLP?
Not really. No, I've just heard about it. I've seen people taking up training and getting certified. I just know it, the definition of it, like what it means. That's it. So not really. I've never got a chance to explore NLP.
Good. And so in your opinion, what you have understood so far, what do you think it means?
Okay, I feel that it is more of your mind language programming, like what you think, what you feel. Neuro is mind, right? So yeah, linguistic is language. So yeah, I would say it's mind language.
Yes.
Okay.
And how mind, which is a little simplistic word that since I learned NLP, don't use anymore. So how basically we call it internal representation, because everyone talks to themselves.
Right.
Are you aware of talking to yourself?
Yes, I do it a lot of times.
And are you aware of having pictures?
Pictures as in?
Inner pictures?
Not
Just
really.
now you are having one. When you rolled up with your eyes, what did you see?
Okay. Now, I was just trying to think through. I didn't
So if
really.
there was a picture, what would it be?
Okay, if I had a picture in mind, what it would be. While cooking, I do this. I talk to myself. This was a picture I had in my
No, did
mind
you see
when I
of
answered.
yourself cooking?
Yes.
No, you saw a picture. See, it's all a matter of diving deeper and noticing. For some of us, it's more on the subconscious level. For some of us, it's more on the conscious level.
Okay.
Mhm. How do we talk to ourselves, which we all do? And as a trainer, how do you talk to the people? Because you're only going to find out what your trainee's potential is by doing what? By asking questions.
Questions.
And it's not only the questions you ask, but it's what is it related to, Shahista. NLP, we're asking questions not about today, but about their outcome. And we look for resources that they have. They may not even know. They may think, oh, I'm a fresher, this job is challenging. But then with NLP, you want to go to your client and say, remember when there was a time in your life when you did feel confident, when you did feel like you had ability, confidence, congruency? You want to take that as a trainer and put that feeling into them now. That's a program. That is literally a program, because people are in the present moment. And as a trainer, you are going to learn that you're not managing people. Bestly and Shahista, you're not managing people. What you are doing is you are managing behavior. Just
And
want to
when
say
you
that.
manage behaviors, you are right on the amplifier of being able to ascertain how somebody is going to respond. So we always want to set a positive direction so that we know what we're doing. So basically, what you have just learned is that our thoughts, like Gregory said, are made in a way that they directly influence. Sorry, my slide is always moving and I'm not moving. My slide is controlling me. thoughts and emotions are inner movies and inner stories and physiological responses. That's what a thought is. Because it's very simple. Would you please touch your eyes? I mean, not touch them, point towards them. And as you point towards them, be aware how in the back of your eyes, the nerve endings go into your brain. So they reflect in your brain pictures. So after I asked Shahista what happened when you rolled up your eyes, because humans look up with their eyes when they make pictures. They look up to the right when they see future pictures, and they look up to the left when they see pictures from the past. They may look all the way straight up when there is a picture that we then find out from where it is. And now, would you please touch your ears and be aware that inside your ears are very sensitive, amazing instruments. The drum, the amboss, a vibrating skin. That's when you hear. It's your sensory organ. Now, what happens when your nerve endings go inside your brain? Sound is made. Words repeated. On the right side, words created. Left side, words remembered from the past. And then it appears, and this is what Richard Bandler and John Grinder, and I'm so honored that I'm just one senior level below them, have invented in the 80s. That when you look down, it is your physical feeling aspect. And this is now already going quite deep into NLP, and you will learn much more under each of what we say tonight. A big chapter opens, and please, Nelly, feel free to give your input anytime. You are such an amazing NLP trainer. So that really our thoughts and emotions are made of how we see pictures inside and how we talk to ourselves. What would you like to add, Nelly?
Okay, what I would like to add is this is exactly when we are facing the same pattern again and again in our life, or meeting the same people again and again, or not being able to move for any obstacle or for any reason in our life, searching for a job or having more money. So this is exactly what this thought is all about. By thinking the same way, so we're gonna have the same situation. So the same thought all over again, and the same emotion, the same inner stories that we are telling ourselves or we are telling the others are gonna result for this same results or the same outcome. So that's how we work also in NLP. So we want to see what is our outcome, what it is that we want to accomplish, so we can change our thought or our communication accordingly.
Very nice. So what do you think about that?
What do you think about it? You're asking Shahita and Basti, correct?
Yes.
Yes, she's asking you, girl. Yes, unmute.
Yeah.
Yes,
trying to
Shahista.
unmute. I was not able to unmute. Yeah,
okay.
That's what. What I understand is, yes, this NLP program is going to help, all of us in terms of getting to know people, getting to know their behavior pattern, right? And yes, helping them to know what they want to accomplish, how they want to sort of get a change in their behavior, in their thought process. So this is what I have understood so far. Am I
Very
right?
nice. Very nice. So let's actually play a little bit with, thank you, Nelly, what Shahista just said. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, perfectly.
So if you can make a picture, if your brain is able to show you the picture of you cooking, when you feel you are talking to yourself and you are, you know, in some sort of an experience, where is that picture right now when you look at it again? Not where in your kitchen, but where in this room and in this moment?
It's here. It's right
here?
in front of me. Yes.
Right in front of you. And then when you show her right in front of you, how big is it?
When you say how big,
Show me the picture. It could be this size. It could be this size.
okay,
It could be this size.
it's large.
Large? Does it have a frame around it?
No,
So it goes into without, it goes panoramic.
yes,
Okay. And does it have color or is it black and white?
it has color.
It has color.
It's colorful.
And
Yes.
and what is the sound?
No sound. It's just that I can see I'm doing some actions. That's how
Okay.
I visualize it.
Okay. So now you are actually easily visualizing, isn't it?
Yes.
And so you can, Besley, would you like to try something out? It seems like you are sitting, are you by yourself?
Right now, it's parked, so I can speak.
Okay. So, but are you by yourself? Can we speak?
Yeah, I can speak. You can hear me,
Okay.
right?
So
Yeah.
now if you would make a picture, everybody, would you please make a picture of yourself doing something wonderful in a week or in 1 month from now? You can see that picture?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Doing NLP.
Huh?
You are
Yes,
doing
yes.
NLP.
Yeah.
And now, Shahista, that picture of the positive, glorious, wonderful future experience, where exactly is that picture and how big is that?
It's large.
Again, large?
Yes.
Is it just as large as the other one?
Yes, it is.
And also in front of you?
Yes.
Is it a little bit closer or further away?
I would say slightly further.
Further away.
Not very close. Yeah.
Now, how did I know that it's slightly further away, Nelly? Before Shahista said it, I knew it. Because her eyes looked further. So her eyes were looking here when she described the first picture, and her eyes were looking further.
Further.
When she described. See, this is NLP, Besley and Shahista. We basically go into the details of what our sensory organs are doing outside, but also inside, because that's thought. And that's how we create our behavior. Because I'm going to ask a drastic, different experience just for 1 minute. Yes? If you would make a picture of something you didn't like, and let's say meaningless. Not that somebody humiliated you or somebody did something bad to you, but simply something you care less. It's meaningless, but it's not good. It's not a very good experience. How would that picture look like, Besley?
A vague picture with no idea, no outcome, not expecting anything. So
So how does that look like? I'm curious. What is the color of that?
could be colorless.
Colorless, so gray?
Yeah, because it's unpredictable. So could be colorless, like in whichever form we don't know how it would be the outcome. So
Because see, when Besley is saying colorless, I want to know what is there. So I'm going to ask, is it shades of black and white? Is it gray? Sue said it's blurry.
blurry,
How do you
gray,
know it's
black.
blurry? The blurry will have a color. It could also be it's blue or green.
Could be black and white.
Black and white.
Yeah.
How did I know that? How is your meaningless picture look like, Shahista? Is it much smaller?
I actually didn't visualize anything.
But your eyes are looking up. So what are you seeing when your eyes are looking up?
No, when you asked me to, I went like, back in experience, something, all the bad experiences that I had, I just had the, what should I say, collage of it, honestly.
A collage of it, so many different pictures on top of it.
Yes, all
And
little,
how do you know that it's meaningless?
Because now I feel it's baseless, whatever happened. So I can refer.
So how does baseless look like? I'm going to poke to get visual information, because as a neuro-linguistic programmer, you need to know what your client is doing so that you can afterwards mess with that material.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as colorful. Okay, if it's a collage, is it as colorful as the wonderful picture?
It is colorful because they are very fresh in my memory. So yes, but then
how do you know
they're
it's
not wonderful
meaningless?
for sure.
They're not wonderful. And so how do you know, how does not wonderful look like? What is different in that picture? According to the picture quality, brightness, depth, color, size, 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional, blurry, clear.
They are clear.
Clear.
Yes.
But how do you know it's meaningless?
Because now things have changed, so I can refer it to as meaningless.
And in which location is it?
When you say location, Doris, are you
Right
talking
now in this room, because the big picture was right in front of you. So the meaningless picture, where would it be? On your side, behind you?
Yes, it's just passing.
It's passing. So it has a movement and it's passing by. So basically, these are the sub-elements of experience. And if that experience was bad, you saw a collage of all these bad experiences, and Besley, you saw shades of black and white in a blurry way. If you would make that smaller and smaller and smaller and put it into the back, far behind you. Would that give a little sense of relief?
Yes. Great relief.
Yes, see, it's as simple as that. So a neuro-linguistic programmer, when we are worrying, we know it's our inner pictures, and we know we have to do something with the pictures. And so you will learn how to do this with your client. Now, you looked at a glorious experience in weeks from now, or maybe in a month from now. Now, could you please look at your desired you? At a version of yourself, not a superwoman, but a woman who's empowered, a woman who's speaking her truth, a woman who knows how to handle herself and how to set her boundaries within family and relationships. And it doesn't matter whether it's 1 month from now, 1 year from now, or 10 years from now. It doesn't matter. I do want you to look at that desired you, empowered woman. Where is that? As you see that picture right now in the room, where would that picture be?
Right in front of us.
Right in front of you and Besley. So see, Shahista, it's for everybody different. You'll be surprised. Somebody would go, it's here. Somebody would go, it's here. And only when I look at your eyes and I see how your eyes are rolling, can I see. But some people stare front out and you will not see how they are looking at it. So Besley, where is the picture of your wonderful desired future, Besley?
It's near me.
It's close to you, and is it in
Close
color?
to you. In color.
In color, and how big?
Yes. It's a big picture.
It's a big picture.
Yeah.
So would you please do some little small NLP technique and
Oh,
put
yes.
that future you from the picture into your hand? Hold it in your hand. Can you see your glorious, wonderful, desired you in your hand? And then do shh. And take a deep breath and look out of her eyes and hear out of her ears and feel her feelings. How is that? Woo, you look very relaxed. Is that wonderful or what?
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Mm. Now, I'd like for you to be aware of the way you talk to yourself. Can you pull forth speaking to yourself when you make yourself feel grumpy or agitated? Yes. That doesn't sound so good, does it? Can you hear that dialogue? And so now we will go, not tonight, but on another time when you hopefully join us, into the details of the sound. But now I would like for you to imagine this is an amplifier. Could you put up your hand like this? And then there is a lever to the amplifier. If this is 100 high volume, this is 0 low volume. So now when you hear an inner voice and it makes you feel bad, how loud is it? Show me where your lever is. Yeah. Mine is about 80. So now would you please do the following and turn the volume down. And turn the volume down. And turn the volume down. And turn the volume down.
Off it.
How low could you make that sound, that volume?
0.
Wow. You know what they call this? Meditation.
Meditation.
Now, at least for a split second. So meditation means to us in NLP that you can handle your internal dialogue. Because I tell you, before I learned NLP, I was doing 14 days and 10-day Vipassana retreats, which is silent meditation, sitting for 45 minutes, then moving for 15 minutes. And I was listening for most of the time to my negative internal dialogue. Now you learn how to tone it down. And once I learned how to tone it down, the quality of my meditation rose. I was much more on top of my game. Does that make sense? So now I say something like, I'm moving towards empowering myself more and more. Because see, in NLP, we don't say something like, I'm great, or I'm the superwoman, or I'm the this, or I'm the that. That would be a freezing sentence. We do moving sentences. So I am, do you like the sentence? I'm moving towards empowering myself more and more. I'm moving towards living and expressing myself as an empowered woman. Yes?
Yes.
Now, could you please raise the volume of that inner tone and of that inner voice and make it louder and louder. Now, don't make it so loud that it's blasting you or that it becomes uncomfortable, but make it louder and louder until you really feel it. It's becoming your experience. You like it. Wow, I'm feeling good. How do you feel?
Super.
Yes, Shahida. Yeah. So good to remind ourselves of the basics, Nelly, isn't it? Whoa.
Yeah.
Can you share something about how you have learned to handle your internal dialogues and internal pictures?
Okay, so first of all, now I know how to tone down this internal and specifically the negative thoughts and the negative inner stories that we make and the negative inner conversation that, or actually in NLP we use unresourceful. That it's not resourceful for us, and to replace it with the reminder of our skills, our capabilities, to remind ourselves that all the resources we need are already there. It's already in ourselves. So we start to think about those specifically, our inner resources. For example, it changed my state of mind becomes more powerful. I can now I have learned how to step into a thought that I want, and how to step out of a thought or emotion that I don't want, that it's not serving me anymore. Okay, it also helped me focus more at work. For example, during the trainings, or if I have a one-on-one session, or if I'm reading a book. So how to tone down my inner conversation also, and to be fully focused the outside, also to be fully focused on my colleagues, on the trainers, or on the person who is talking to me. Not to try to judge the others by doing this, not try to have my own meaning making or my how I am seeing it. No, actually to go and to meet that person where they are right now, as if you are meeting them in their map, in their shoes. I wasn't able to do that before. So this is on a professional level, and on a personal level also, it enhanced my relationship with my family, basically. So now I know how to communicate with my family. So now I know how to listen to them, and how I can respond in the best way possible, how to minimize the conflict as possible, how we can tone down this conflict that might happen every day for very silly things, maybe, or in your daily life with your partner. How to tone that down and to enhance and to have more accurate, more let's say flowing communication with the other person.
Wow, we learned a lot tonight. It's about to complete, and we just gave you a little bit of an insight into Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And did you get an idea how to change the experience of your internal dialogue? And see, we didn't even change the content yet. Really? Yes, we did. I'm moving towards becoming more and more empowered. Yes, we did work with the content, and that's one of the things you learn. You learn how to use language and to formulate language in a way that it's amazing, in a way that it's good, in a way that you can move forward. So the experiences tonight were about your own inner experiences. And when you become an NLP coach, you will learn a lot about how to navigate this inner realm. You will learn a lot about am I sharing?
Not yet, Dr. Doris.
So just quickly, these are some of the things that you will learn in the first 2 days. You learn patterns of thoughts and emotions, focusing techniques that have to do with attention, memory, concentration. You learn changing states of mind. You learn how to formulate and create your own outcome frames and other people's. And of course, how you ask your client, what is it that you want to accomplish? Not what is your problem? Because then we end up in the wrong direction. Build beliefs for success, states of mind for excellent, nonverbal communication, eye patterns, reading, interpreting, utilizing. We learn how to create rapport with a small group or an audience, Shahista, and we learn coaching questions and coaching styles. and empowering and disempowering language. And we learn how to interrupt stimulus response. See, maybe you have one of these patterns that you eat too much, drink too much, or smoke, or speak too much, or shout to your children, or any of such. So you need to interrupt, learn how to identify the trigger and then interrupt that response. And reframing is about always moving forward. The 6 levels of successful change. Successfully replace limiting emotions through re-imprinting techniques. Yes, you basically take a non-working negative memory and you put positive resources on top until you change your own history, until you project your future successfully. Sometimes we cannot project the future successfully if we don't change our history. And transform procrastination using motivation filters, precision model, visual squash, integrating conflicting inner beliefs, persuasion techniques, and, this slide is old, the 8-step coaching process. All of this will be in 5 days. Some of this will be in the first 2 days. And in the first 2 days, once again, you will be able to join us at Illuminations on site on the 11th and 12th of February. And if you want to go for NLP practitioner, you add the weekend, Friday through Sunday, 24th through 26th, and you will have NLP practitioner certification.